Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so I hope everyone is doing well. Truly missed you. But guess what? We're to the end of Julian's glorious summer. We're at chapter 8, which is the last chapter. But before we get into the last chapter, I want to recap what happened in chapter 7. So chapter 7's title was called I Get My Just Reward. Who remembers? Good. And in chapter 7, we learned that Julian, he had just gotten a bicycle from his dad, but he said he wanted to take it back. He didn't want it. But before he decided that he wanted to take it back, he was going to show it to Gloria, his best friend, first. So maybe he can get some insight about riding a bicycle, or maybe he might change his mind. I don't know. Since we're at the end of this book, it's a good time to think about the central message or the lesson. Central message and lesson is the same thing. This is what the author wants us to take with us in our minds, like the lesson or something to think about. So we're going to think about, what does Julian learn? What does he learn at the end? In all of this, what does he really and truly learn? Also, we're going to think about how he had changed from the beginning to the end of the story. All right, let's begin. Before we begin, let's review some vocabulary words. Hauled means dragged. So when you haul something, you drag it. A pothole is a small but deep hole in the street. Okay? So these are important vocabulary words we're going to come across in chapter 8. All right, let's begin. I wheeled the red bicycle all the way to Gloria's house. Its silver spokes were shining in the sun as if it was saying, "Look at me. Look how beautiful I am." "Okay, I'm looking," I said. Before I could even ring Gloria's bell, she came running out. "I was watching you from my window," she said. "What an excellent bicycle." "Yes," I said, "and I want to take it back to the store." "Take it back to the store?" Gloria said. "What's the matter? Don't you like the color?" Julian's not so excited, but it seems like Gloria is super excited about this bicycle that he got. Maybe she's like, this is my chance to really show him how to ride a bicycle. Let's continue reading. I paused. I was going to say I wanted to trade it in to have more money saved for a race car, but that wasn't true. And it seemed like I got in a lot of trouble getting out of trouble by saying things I didn't mean. "Gloria," I said, "I don't like bicycles. People fall off bicycles." "That's for sure," Gloria said. "Look." She raised the corner of her skirt. Her knee was all scraped up and painted orange. So I want to jot here, and I think I did jot already. Oh, no, I didn't. I want to jot here to say, Julian decides to tell Gloria the truth about his fear of riding bicycles. So now he tells her the truth. But she didn't get upset. She said, "That's true, but look." And she showed him the scrape on her knee. Why do you think she showed him the scrape on her knee? Go ahead, think about that for a second. Why do you think she showed him the scrape on her knee? Okay, how many of you think she showed him the scrape on her knee to show her, guess what, Julian? It has happened to me before. But it's not as scary as you think. It's a process of learning. Let's see. Let's continue to read. I fell yesterday, she said. A dog ran at me. And to think I've always been afraid of cats, not dogs. We never know what to be afraid of in this life. So you aren't going to ride your bicycle anymore? I couldn't help asking. Maybe Gloria would stop riding her bicycle. I would take mine back to the store. Things would be just the way they used to be. Here, Julian again. He's like worried about his fear. Of course I'm going to ride it. I'm just going to be more careful. That's all. But you hurt yourself, I said. The fun of it is bigger than the hurting, Gloria said. She touched the white stripes on my bicycle. If you don't like your bike, I'll go with you to return it, she said. Even if you never ride a bicycle, we'll always be friends. But don't you want to try it? So here, Gloria's trying to encourage him that even though she fell and hurt herself, she picked up herself, dusted off, and kept trying. And this time she's decided she's going to be more careful. So maybe she's trying to teach Julian it's not as bad as you think. Let's continue reading. I'm right here. I stood for a long time. I remembered how much I used to like my tricycle, but I was too old for tricycles. I thought how I didn't want to do something silly, like smoothing out the street with my nose. All right, I finally said. I'll try it. Okay, Gloria said. See those 2 cement blocks? We'll move them and put the bicycle between them. And then you can get on. We hauled the blocks into place. I wheeled the bicycle over and got on. It didn't feel so bad. Now, Gloria said, take your feet off the blocks. I did. At first, I kept my balance. Then the bicycle started to lean to one side. I put my feet back on the blocks fast. Try balancing a few more times, Gloria said. I did. It got easier. Now, use the bike like a scooter, Gloria said. I moved away from the blocks. Then I skimmed down the driveway, holding on to the handlebar and the bike seat and putting just one foot on the near pedal. That was fun, I said. Okay, Gloria said. Now use the blocks again. I put the bicycle between the cement blocks and balanced on it again. Gloria took hold of the side of the bicycle seat. When your bike leans one way, she said, stare and lean the other way. Pedal now, she said. Take off. Ooh. So I'm taking a look at my NOPQ chart because we're reading the level N book. And I'm noticing and I'm following character traits and the changes across the story. But I'm noticing that Gloria's trait is pretty much the same from the beginning. She's such a helpful and kind character. And she's always that way despite the challenges she might face. Right? So I think I'm going to jot about that. So, Gloria is helpful and kind because she encourages Julian to try to ride his bicycle. She gives him step-by-step directions to be successful. She makes him feel good about the fear he didn't want to face. This is really good, right? What a friend Julian has. Let's continue reading. I pushed the top pedal. I've left the blocks behind. Gloria ran beside me, holding the bike seat. I balanced. I didn't fall, even though every time I pushed the pedal down, it seemed like my whole body was dropping into the Grand Canyon. So he probably felt like he was dropping into this big hole because the Grand Canyon is a big area. Gloria, let go of the seat. I turned. I was out on the street. I was heading toward my house. On the sidewalk, I saw Huey. Julian! Wow! He called. He took off toward our house. I heard Gloria's bicycle bell ring. She pedaled up beside me. Ooh. So now Julian is starting to feel so much better about riding his bicycle. He begins to conquer his fear, right? Let's continue reading. I didn't dare look at her. I was scared I'd fall. Keep going, she shouted. If you think you're going to fall, just keep pedaling. It started to seem like I was standing still. Trees and houses floated by me, the green ships and like white ones. I saw a big tree with our swing. I saw my mom and dad and Huey standing on the curb. Good going, my mom called. I saw a pothole. I stared and missed it. That's the way, Julian. You've got it, my dad shouted. Huey started running along the sidewalk. There goes my brother, he shouted. Wow, this is a perfect time to jot. What are you noticing happening so far in the story? How is Julian feeling? And what is happening to make him feel so much better? Think about this for a second. Go ahead. All right. We should jot about it. Julian is starting to feel excited and even more happy because he was starting to get the hang of riding his bicycle. He has a great support team, which is his mom, dad, Gloria, and Huey, to encourage him to keep going. This is great. Let's continue reading. We left my house behind. We turned in at the park. Gloria rang her bell. My flag flapped behind me. We rolled under big trees. Isn't it great? Gloria called. We can go exploring. We can go on picnics. Isn't it a glorious, glorious summer? The end. Wow. So, at the end, what do we notice? Julian decided to conquer his fear. He decided to tell his best friend the truth. And despite that, she said, no matter what, I'm still going to be your friend, even if you decide you don't want to ride the bicycle. But he actually decided to try it. And when he tried it, he conquered his fear. Now, what do you think from the beginning of the chapter to now? Julian, what is the central message? What did Julian learn throughout this whole entire time of this glorious summer? Think about it. I'm going to give you about a couple seconds to think about it, and then we're going to jot, okay? He didn't want to ride this bicycle. He decided to, tell fibs until they actually caught up with him. All right. So Julian learned that it is better to tell the truth than to lie. And in the end, he learned how to ride his bike and wasn't afraid anymore. If he told the truth in the first place, he wouldn't have to work all the time and extra hard and be miserable. So what is the central message and lesson the author wants us to learn? What is the author telling us from this story? I'm going to jot it down. Are you ready? The central message / lesson is to always tell the truth. Because even if it's hard to do, it will be better than lying. Always tell the truth. Even though it might be hard, it's always better than lying. Because then you end up in situations you might not like. Okay? Great. Now, let's think about this question. How did Julian change from the beginning of the story to the end, and why? Okay? That's like following the traits of the character from our NLPQ chart and how it changes across the story. Think about what the character wants, okay? And how did he change? So, in the beginning, right? And put B for beginning. Julian was a fibber, right? Because he had a fair. I want you to think about at the end. Now come